The turkey was perfectly cooked, the silverware gleamed, and the annual Walker family Thanksgiving dinner was proceeding exactly as it had for the past 5 years, with me serving as the family's favorite punching bag. "Pass the gravy, secretary," my brother Michael smirked from across our parents' mahogany dining table. At 35 he was the CFO of Walker Industries, our family's construction empire, and he never let me forget the gulf between our positions. "Executive assistant," I corrected quietly, though it didn't matter. They'd already stopped listening, just as they had when I'd graduated top of my class from Harvard Business School. "Same thing," my sister Catherine chimed in, adjusting her Cartier bracelet, a small bonus from her VP position at the company. "Though I suppose someone has to answer the phones, right, Emma?" I passed the gravy, thinking about the documents waiting in my real office, the one they didn't know existed 40 stories above Manhattan in the gleaming headquarters of Phoenix Global, the company I'd built in secret while they thought I was just answering phones. "How is the reception desk these days, dear?" Mother asked, her voice dripping with carefully cultivated concern. "Still working for that consulting firm. What was it called?" "Horizon Partners," I supplied. My cover story for the past 5 years while I'd methodically built Phoenix Global into a construction industry powerhouse. "And I'm not a receptionist, Mother. I'm an executive assistant to the CEO." "Same difference," Father waved his hand dismissively. He was CEO of Walker Industries, though not for much longer, not that he knew that yet. "At least you're employed, though God knows why you wasted that Harvard degree on secretarial work." I took a sip of wine, remembering the headlines already prepared for tomorrow morning. "Phoenix Global acquires Walker Industries in surprise takeover." 5 years of careful planning, of quiet stock acquisition through shell companies, all culminating in tomorrow's board meeting. Speaking of employment, Michael straightened importantly, "We just closed our biggest deal yet. Walker Industries is acquiring that new tech company Phoenix Global. Board signs off tomorrow." I nearly choked on my wine. "You're acquiring Phoenix Global?" "Well, trying to," Catherine corrected. "They're playing hard to get, but Daddy always gets what he wants, don't you, Daddy?" Father nodded, chest puffing with pride. "No upstart company can resist the Walker charm, or our hostile takeover strategies. By this time tomorrow, their assets will be ours." If they only knew those assets included ownership of 51% of Walker Industries stock. "Tell us about the deal, Michael," Mother urged, ever the proud parent of her successful children. "Well, 2 of them anyway." "Phoenix Global has revolutionary construction technology," Michael explained, helping himself to more turkey. "AI-driven project management, automated supply chain systems, stuff we need to stay competitive. They wouldn't sell, so we're taking them." "How aggressive," I murmured. "That's business, little sister," Catherine laughed. "Not that you'd understand pushing papers and getting coffee." I thought about my real office with its view of Central Park. About my executive team waiting for tomorrow's signal. About the look on their faces when they realized who really owned Phoenix Global. "Actually," I said carefully, "I read about Phoenix Global. Isn't their CEO something of a mystery? Some tech hermit who won't show their face," Michael scoffed. "Probably scared of real business people. They're in for a shock tomorrow when they meet the Walkers." Speaking of tomorrow, Father set down his wine glass. "Emma, we've been talking. Your position at wherever you work. It's becoming embarrassing. A Walker working as a secretary? It's time you joined the family business properly. We could find you something in HR," Catherine offered magnanimously. "Something suitable for your skills." I set down my fork, suddenly tired of the charade. "And what skills would those be exactly?" "Well," Michael gestured vaguely, "you're organized. Good with phones. Make decent coffee, I assume. Don't forget my Harvard MBA," I said quietly. "Or my patents in construction technology. Or my innovations in project management systems." The table fell silent. "Patents?" Father frowned. "What patents?" I stood up, smoothing my simple black dress, Chanel, though they probably assumed it was off the rack. "Thank you for dinner, Mother. I should go. Big day tomorrow." "Oh." Catherine's perfectly plucked eyebrows rose. "Important coffee run in the morning?" I gathered my things, thinking of the board meeting where their world would turn upside down. "Something like that." "Emma," Father called as I reached the door, "think about what we said. About joining Walker Industries. It's time you took your place in the family business. I turned, allowing myself a small smile. Don't worry, father. By this time tomorrow, I'll be very much involved in the family business. As I drove home to my penthouse apartment, paid for with the profits they thought I'd never earn, my phone buzzed with messages from my executive team. All set for tomorrow, Ms. Walker. Legal team in position. Press release ready. Board votes confirmed. 5 years of being underestimated, dismissed, and mocked. 5 years of building an empire while they thought I was serving coffee. 5 years leading to tomorrow morning, when they'd learn that the secretary they'd laughed at owned their company. Sometimes the best revenge isn't served cold. It's served with a corner office and a CEO nameplate. The next morning I arrived at Phoenix Global's headquarters at 7 a.m. sharp. The November sun was just rising over Manhattan, casting long shadows across the city I'd quietly conquered while my family was busy undermining me. Good morning, Ms. Walker. My actual executive assistant, James, greeted me with a tablet in hand. Your family just arrived at Walker Industries for their pre-board meeting breakfast. They're celebrating early. I smiled, watching the city wake up from my corner office. Have they checked the markets yet? Trading hasn't opened. But everything's in place. The moment the bell rings. My phone buzzed with the family group chat. Michael, time to crush another upstart. Board meeting in 2 hours. Catherine, champagne's chilling for after we sign. Father, that's my children. Show them real business power. Mother, Emma dear, you should come watch how real business is done. I screenshot the messages. Sometimes karma needs documentation. The past 5 years flashed through my mind. While they thought I was answering phones at some consulting firm, I'd been building Phoenix Global into a technological powerhouse. Every patent, every innovation, every system they now desperately wanted, I'd created them all. But more importantly, I'd been quietly acquiring Walker Industries stock through a labyrinth of shell companies. The secretary they mocked had outmaneuvered them all. Ms. Walker. James's voice interrupted my thoughts. Your brother just posted on LinkedIn about the upcoming acquisition. Should we let him? I said, adjusting my Armani suit. No more department store clothes for me. In about 2 hours he'll be updating his employment status instead. At 8:45, my private elevator opened to reveal Sarah Chin, my chief legal officer. Everything's ready, Emma. The moment the market opens, our ownership of Walker Industries becomes public. Their board won't know what hit them. How long until they realize? Minutes, maybe seconds. Your brother's been bragging about this takeover for weeks. When the ownership records update. Another buzz from my phone. Catherine, looking forward to firing some tech nerds today. Michael, save some for me, sis. Time to show them how Walkers do business. Father, that's my legacy. Take no prisoners. I checked my watch, 8:55 a.m. Time to go. The drive to Walker Industries took exactly 12 minutes. As my car pulled up to their building, the stock market opened. My phone immediately exploded with notifications. Breaking. Phoenix Global reveals majority ownership of Walker Industries. Walker Industries stock soars as Phoenix takes control. Mystery CEO of Phoenix Global to be revealed at emergency board meeting. Then came the family messages. Michael, what the hell? Catherine, this must be a mistake. Father, who is doing this? Mother, William, fix this. The Walker Industries lobby was chaos. Board members rushed to the emergency meeting while reporters gathered outside, all asking the same question. Who was the mysterious CEO of Phoenix Global? Through the glass walls of the executive elevator, I could see Michael pacing, his perfect hair now a mess, his phone pressed to his ear. Catherine was frantically typing on her tablet, probably trying to contact their lawyers who now worked for me. Ms. Walker. James murmured beside me. They're all in the main boardroom. I straightened my jacket, thinking of all the times they'd dismissed me, mocked me, underestimated me. Perfect. Time for a family reunion. The Walker Industries boardroom occupied the entire top floor. Through its floor-to-ceiling windows, I could see my family huddled at one end of the massive table, while board members filled the remaining seats. Michael was standing, his face red with rage. This is impossible. We were buying them. Actually, I said, pushing open the doors, you weren't. The room fell silent. Catherine's tablet slipped from her hands. Mother's perfect composure cracked. And Father looked like he'd seen a ghost. Emma. Michael whispered. What are you doing here? I walked to the head of the table, setting down my briefcase. Isn't it obvious, big brother? I'm here to discuss the future of Walker Industries. My company's newest acquisition. This is absurd, Catherine found her voice first. You're a secretary. I opened my briefcase, extracting the acquisition documents. Executive assistant, remember? Though not quite the way you thought. I pressed a button on the remote, and the room's screens lit up with Phoenix Global's organizational chart, my name at the top. No, Father shook his head. No, this is some kind of trick. You couldn't. Couldn't what, Father? Build $1 billion company? Create revolutionary technology? Or just succeed without your approval? I distributed copies of the ownership documents to the board members. Phoenix Global now owns 51% of Walker Industries. Every patent you wanted, every system you tried to steal, I created them. While you were busy mocking my coffee runs, I was building an empire. Michael grabbed the documents, his hands shaking. The shell companies, Summit Ventures, Horizon Capital. All Phoenix Global subsidiaries, I confirmed. Every acquisition you approved, every partner you dealt with, they all reported to me. The secretary you laughed at was actually your boss. Mother's perfectly manicured hand flew to her throat. But, the money, how did you? Remember grandmother's inheritance? I smiled. The one you all said I'd waste on frivolous ventures? I invested every penny. Built something so far beyond Walker Industries that you needed my technology just to stay competitive. The board members were whispering among themselves, reviewing the numbers with increasingly impressed expressions. Last night, I continued, my voice carrying across the silent room, you offered me a position in H. Said it was time I took my place in the family business. I paused, letting the irony sink in. Well, here I am, taking my place. As CEO. The board won't stand for this, Father declared, but his voice wavered. The board already has, said Richard Martinez, their longest-serving member. We've reviewed Phoenix Global's performance, Ms. Walker. Your innovations, your management style, your vision for the future, it's exactly what Walker Industries needs. I clicked through slides showing Phoenix Global's achievements. Revolutionary AI systems, automated project management tools, ethical business practices that had transformed the construction industry. While you were busy protecting your legacy, I was building the future. While you were mocking my career choices, I was revolutionizing an entire industry. And while you were calling me just a secretary, I was becoming your boss. This is betrayal. Michael shot up from his chair. You're destroying our family. No, I said calmly. I'm saving it. Walker Industries is losing market share, bleeding talent, and falling behind technologically. Phoenix Global isn't just taking over, we're offering salvation. I distributed my restructuring plan. Everyone keeps their jobs, conditionally. Michael, Catherine, you'll be demoted to department heads, where you'll learn to earn your positions rather than inherit them. Father, you'll transition to an advisory role. And if we refuse? Catherine challenged. Then you'll join the unemployment line. Business is business, right? Isn't that what you always taught me, Father? The next 2 hours were a blur of signatures, legal proceedings, and stunned silence. By noon, Walker Industries had officially become a subsidiary of Phoenix Global. My family's empire hadn't been destroyed. It had been absorbed into something greater. As the board members filed out, Mother lingered behind. All those dinners, she said softly. All those times we dismissed you were exactly what I needed, I finished for her. You taught me that the only person who could limit my success was me. So I removed those limits. 1 year later, I stood in my expanded office, now occupying the top floors of both Phoenix and Walker Towers. Michael had surprisingly thrived in his reduced role, finally learning to value merit over birthright. Catherine had resigned, unable to adapt to a world where her last name didn't guarantee success. And Father? He watched from his advisory position as his secretary daughter transformed his life's work into something he never imagined possible. My phone buzzed with a new family group chat message. Michael, Q4 reports ready for your review, Sue. Mother, Sunday dinner this week? No business talk, I promise. Father, you proved us all wrong, Emma. Prouder than I can say. I smiled, remembering that last Thanksgiving, their dismissive words, their certainty in their own superiority. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destroying what others built. It's building something so much greater that they have no choice but to admire it. Through my office windows I could see both towers, Phoenix and Walker, connected by a skybridge that symbolized the merger of old methods and new innovation. The secretary they'd mocked now controlled an empire that spanned continents. Ms. Walker. James's voice came through the intercom. Your 2 p.m. is here. The team's ready to present the next phase of global expansion. I gathered my files, straightening my suit and headed for the door. Because success isn't just about proving others wrong. It's about proving yourself right, every single day. And sometimes, the greatest victory isn't in taking over a family company. It's in transforming it into something that makes Justice Secretary the most powerful title in the room. After all, I wasn't just their daughter anymore. I was their CEO, their savior, and their lesson in humility all rolled into one. And that was worth more than any corner office they could have offered. As I left the office that evening, I passed by my old desk at Horizon Partners, the consulting firm I'd used as a cover. I'd kept the space, transforming it into a mentorship center for ambitious young professionals who, like me, were underestimated by their families or colleagues. On the wall hung a simple frame containing my first business card, Emma Walker, Executive Assistant. Below it, a quote I'd written, "Never judge someone by their title, they might just own the company one day." My phone buzzed with another message from Michael. "Hey sis, remember how I used to joke about your coffee-making skills? Well, I just made coffee for my entire department. Turns out being humble isn't so bad after all." I smiled, thinking of how far we'd all come. The family that once mocked me now looked to me for leadership. The empire they thought they controlled now thrived under my direction. And that secretary they dismissed? She just acquired 3 more companies this morning. Because sometimes the best response to just a secretary is to become the CEO they never saw coming.